resistance against the hegemony. Understand that the mere reception of this transmission is considered treasonous against the hegemony. Still with me? Good. If you are new to the Badlands, I am sure you have a glowing picture of the hegemony in your mind, and you can't understand why they would place you here in the Badlands. I'm sorry to inform you that the hegemony has been lying to you. The hegemony is not the glorious gem that they portray themselves to be. The history of the hegemony is much more sordid and dark. Allow me to tell you the true history of the hegemony. It's been nearly 20 years now. We were in the middle of a deep recession, headed to a very bad depression. This is economic. I don't know if you understand that. The hegemony is not very good about educating its citizens. But basically, all that means is that there wasn't very much money to go around. And people, I don't know if you understand what jobs are. Living in the hegemony, I don't know which sector you lived in. If you were a citizen, or a plebeian, or you a patrician, I feel very sorry for you if you were a patrician sent into exile. This must be very shocking for you. Anyway, so the government didn't know what to do. The citizens turned to the government. And of course, the government not knowing what to do, the corporation stepped in. And it was no secret. The corporations already had their fingers in the pockets of the politicians. The corporations promised that they would save us from the recession and prevent a depression. The citizens were on the verge of panic. They bought it, or rather, they sold their government to the corporations. Essentially, what they did was cut the politicians out completely and just turned the entire nation over to the corporations. Now, there were some citizens who warned of the dangers of doing such a thing. I was among those. We were rounded up, and some of us were executed to set an example. Most of us were simply exiled, sent here to the Badlands. They expected us to die, and many of us did. Only about a quarter of us remain after nearly 20 years. We were exiled when the walls were just beginning to be built. I remember when the walls were still shining, shimmering, splendid. I don't suppose symbolic both ways. The great irony. They did it to symbolize the purity and the height of their civilization, and look at it. It's disgusting. And they instituted a policy of eugenics, exiling and executing anyone who didn't fit their mold. Those who were poor but able-bodied, they were cast into the plebeians. I don't know how many of the patricians or citizens even understand the social castes, why they were made the way they were. The contact I've had with exiles, getting over the social stigma is the most difficult part. Self-preservation doesn't even seem to apply. They would rather adhere to their social castes than work for their own interests. It's something I can't understand. I was raised in the Republic. I believed in equality, that all men are created equal, that they are endowed by their Creator with certain inalienable rights. But that's not how the hegemony feels. The corporations are viewed as people, and patricians place themselves above everybody else. Of course, all the CEOs and their families are patrician. And as I understand it, citizens lead a fairly decent life, but plebeians just have such a horrible life. And plebeians are the most often exiled. Excuse me. So with eugenics, many people were exiled. Exile is also a very useful tool for people trying to climb the social ladder, the political ladder. Having someone exiled is a lot easier than having them killed. Fewer questions are asked. Besides, having someone killed can get someone exiled fairly quickly. It's pretty funny how patricians have to come to rely on the help of Morlocks. That's what they call us. Well, we gave the name to ourselves, and they've taken it. I don't think they understand what it means. I don't think very many of them even know what books are. I don't know how many people viewing this transmission understand what it means. When you have a chance, when you come to one of our compounds, we have archives on Datapad. You can read some of the classics. Perhaps in a future transmission, I will read to you from one of the Datapad archives. I suppose I should cover what the plan is with these transmissions. We have recently set up this facility to broadcast. I understand that the Hegemony, they're always watching and always listening. But we've set up several broadcast sites. And we bounce the signal around. And the Hegemony, when tracing us, may end transmit this freely because it can act as a deterrent to keep them from seeking us out. I doubt it will deter them, but just putting it out there, it makes me feel better. But we set up this broadcast tower, and the broadcast positions elsewhere, hoping that other people are finding ways of transmitting. We found out quite by accident that some people are transmitting, that when they were exiled, they took some transceivers with them. So I'm hoping that those people are receiving these broadcasts. So far it's only one, but there will be others. And my plan is to broadcast, and that people who receive it will broadcast in response, and we can begin to figure out who needs help and who is an agent of the hegemony. I can't very well broadcast coordinates to our compounds. We do have patrols out looking for people. If you're in need of food or medical supply, you need to broadcast. Let us know of your need. Don't let us know your position. We will work to make sure that you are genuine and to assure you that we are not agents of the hegemony. We have to be very careful with this both ways. I'm sure there are agents of the hegemony broadcasting as well, but I can assure you they are more interested in finding us than they are in finding you. There's little incentive in finding you. They've recently exiled you. Why would they want to find you? But still, you should be careful anyway. You never know what the hegemony will do. But we have a network of compounds. Men, women, and children live there. They cultivate food and educate the children, teaching them Republican values. What it was like to live during the days of the Republic before the hegemony. We can hope that someday these children will live free of the oppression of the hegemony. So please, if you're receiving this, begin transmitting. I will be here waiting for a signal. This is my station, and I will be waiting. I leave you with one last message. Keep hope alive. Just remember that.